Hi, I'm Ash and I make vlogs, and sometimes I make vlogs with a sociological twist on things, and today we're going to do just that. So let's get into the video. So a little bit about me, if you don't already know, I run a blog and most Fridays I look at the topic of Freaky Friday files. So this is where I take creepier topics or scary topics, things that I'm kind of like morbidly curious about, and I write about those. And one of the ones that I did recently was what are the backrooms, and I thought, oh, sorry, just kicked my tripod. I thought that we could talk about it in a video from a sociological perspective as well. So as always, I will link the blog post below so you can read if you don't enjoy watching me. If you do enjoy watching me, thank you, and please subscribe. I am going to do lots of vlogs and more topics on sociological things and maybe some more morbidly curiosities. My dog Benji, he is 8 months old. He's a corgi and he is just on the floor rolling around doing I don't know what. He's probably just wants belly rubs. So if you hear any weird noises, it's probably him. Alright, I have my laptop because my memory sucks, but you know the gist. I didn't really come across the topic of the backrooms. Like, I'd heard it in other YouTube videos, but I didn't know what it was until now, which I feel really embarrassed about because I am a more morbidly curious person and I like looking at scary things, even though I do get really scared, but yeah, it is what it is. So, what are the backrooms? And we're going straight to Wikipedia because to me that's the best way to understand something in the most simplest form. But if you are an academic student or tertiary student or even high school student, please don't use Wikipedia as a source. You can steal their sources, that's a good idea, but don't use them as an academic source because it's technically not. So according to Wikipedia, the backrooms are a fictional location originating from a 2019 4chan thread, one of the best known examples of the liminal space aesthetic. The backrooms are usually portrayed as an impossibly large, extra-dimensional expanse of empty rooms accessed by exiting, no clipping out of reality. So that's the definition. And don't worry, I'm going to break it down. Quick side note here, if you have been watching my vlogs, thank you so much. And if you are wanting a tooth update, I am in the middle of making another vlog style like that, but it is quite swollen still for the root canal, so that's basically where I'm at the moment. Anyway, let's break down that definition and talk about some other definitions. I know that sounds complicated, but it's really not. So 4chan, I'm sure you guys are all aware of 4chan, you're on the internet. But if not, it's an image-based forum type of community online where anyone can post content and they can do so anonymously. A lot of stuff is posted on 4chan, from creepy stuff to the more innocent type of video game stuff. Liminal space aesthetic. These are empty/abandoned spaces that appear eerie or quite creepy to those looking in. And then this is probably the more important one for this vlog. No clipping. This refers to a video game cheat code, which Wikipedia says, and this is a quote, a cheat that allows players to pass through normally impenetrable objects, walls, ceilings, and floors by disabling clipping in the game. So it's just a cheat code and you can go through a wall. Obviously the history of the backrooms is a little bit blurred because there is a whole new fandom of them, so some people might get a bit confused, and I definitely got a bit confused at first. But according to a Reddit thread, which is linked in the blog, the original 4chan post was archived. And I'll put in an image here somewhere of the original image. The original backrooms can be described with the following characteristics. So yellow wallpaper, old musty carpet that is usually damp, buzzing fluorescent lights, endlessness, so kind of like a labyrinth with no apparent way out, so you're trapped essentially. And in some versions there are entities. So the original image, which hopefully is still up when I edit this, was posted to 4chan, where an anonymous user asked other users to post disquieting images that just feel off. However, it wasn't the image that caused a stir, it was one particular comment on this thread. The comment is as follows: if you're not careful and you clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. From Anonymous on 4chan, May 13, 2019. So this comment is deemed an original creepy paster. I think that's how you say it, because you're like copying and pasting things. But some people will say creepypasta, but creepypasta, I think that's right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So a creepypasta is usually some sort of fictional, horror, or scary story that is continuously shared around the internet. The internet of such a story is intended to scare readers, and often they are user generated, so me and you could write a story and say that it's a creepypasta. And sometimes people will change them and adapt them over time. They might get scarier, they might add things to them, all of that. So following the beginning of the Backrooms creepypasta, a lot of users began sharing their own stories on subreddits on Reddit. So there's r Backrooms and r creepypasta, and then from there this fandom blossomed. Creators would often add additional floors and levels to the original Backrooms, and then this fandom split into two. This is important, okay? And there was people who liked the original content and didn't mind it being adapted, but then there was another fandom where people didn't like how it was being changed, and they made true Backrooms. So that's another subreddit. The subreddit True Backrooms focused solely on the original version of the Backrooms, so lots of yellow stuff, all of that. And then the subreddit Backrooms gained a massive following, and by March 2022 it had over 157,000 users, and then as of today, so August 2024, the subreddit currently has over 297,000 users. ABC News 2022 said, unlike the fandoms that crop up around existing properties, where there is a clear distinction between canonical storytelling and fan fiction, no one person owns the Backrooms, which means drawing a line between authentic storytelling and jokes is more difficult. Now that quote is really, I feel it's really powerful, because anyone can make up a story about the Backrooms because it was just like an anonymous comment creepypasta, and they don't have the rights to that or anything like that. And yeah, so many video games, so many forms of media made because of this one comment and photo. So this online horror storytelling expanded into other social media platforms as things tend to happen. So Backrooms were very prominent on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. And apparently they even inspired the TV show Severance. I haven't seen it, but I really want to. Honestly, I don't know what I was doing back in 2022 where I didn't notice this. I was working full-time with shift work. I was living alone. I was very tired. So I probably didn't look too much into creepy stuff at the time, because living alone can be scary in a new country as well. And then I met Luke, and then obviously social life, work, health issues. Yeah, I'm not like trying to excuse myself. I'm just like, this is probably why I didn't think about the Backrooms in 2022. There are a lot of images on Reddit that are quite like unsettling, so feel free to go have a look at those subreddits if you would like. I've put some pictures in my blog, so check those out. Some of them are very, very creepy, and I feel like the longer you stare at these sorts of photos of like liminal space, the weirder the images become. But maybe that's the trick, just don't stare at these photos too long. Many questions arise because of the Backrooms, such as, is this where the internet aesthetic, liminal space comes from, where it began, and why do we feel so creeped out or eerie looking at these images? However, one thing is for sure, we definitely now know where the original image came from. And we're going to talk about that. So I'm sure you're familiar with the Wayback Machine. It is just a digital archive of the internet of things that might have been deleted. So remember when they're like, if you put something online, it's never going to really be gone. It's that concept. Anyway, in 2024, people were using the Wayback Machine to try and figure out where the Backrooms came from, that image. And they traced it all the way back to March 2003. It turns out that that particular image was taken during a renovation of a former furniture store that had temporary, I can't say that word, temp walls and lots of fake inner walls in Wisconsin. The shop was known as Rona's Home Furnishings and then was acquired by a different tenant, Hobbytown, in 1994. Now, I don't really know what Hobbytown is because I'm a Kiwi who lives in Australia, so hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But this store underwent renovations in 2002, and the progress was captured by a Sony Cybershot camera. So one of those little digital cameras, like this big. Maybe I can find a picture as well to help explain it. But the following year, in March 2003, the photos were uploaded to a renovation blog dedicated to the renovations in Oshkosh. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. So I think it is a blog dedicated to renovations in the city of Oshkosh, not necessarily Hobbytown's blog. But yeah, anyway, Hobbytown eventually converted the shop into a radio-controlled car racing track, and the original layout of the room is gone. So now that we know the origin story of this photo, I want to talk about how the Backrooms have also been adapted into other short films, video games, and other forms of media. I could think about when I was writing this blog is Jean Baudrillard's theory of hyperreality. Yes, I know, I suck at pronouncing names, I'm sorry. So hyperreality is the condition in which reality is replaced or blurred by simulations of reality. In hyperreality, the distinction between what is real and what is simulated becomes unclear, leading to a situation where people can no longer tell the difference between the two. Baudrillard argued that in contemporary society, simulations such as images, media, and symbols become more real to us than reality itself. This idea is central to his critiques of modern media and consumer culture. I love this theory, but I'm going to break this down a little bit more so that it's more comprehensible. So, simulated spaces. The backrooms, as depicted in games and media, are themselves simulations, artificial environments that imitate or distort reality. They present a world that feels real in some ways, so familiar rooms, textures, objects, that's familiar to me and you, but is fundamentally unreal, endless, and disorientating. The blurring of reality and simulation. So in the context of the backrooms, hyperreality is experienced through the blurring of boundaries between the real world and simulated world. The idea of no clipping, remember that's important, out of reality into the backrooms plays this hyperreal concept that reality and simulation are intertwined and indistinguishable. I feel that kind of links to the life as a simulation conspiracy theory. And the next one, psychological displacement. The backrooms can evoke feelings of unease, alienation, and existential dread, something I feel on a daily basis, as they represent a world that is familiar yet fundamentally wrong, a hallmark of hyperreal environments. This psychological displacement is a key aspect of Baudrillard's hyperreality, where the familiar becomes unsettling because it no longer corresponds to the real. Additionally, video games. So some games are specifically designed around the backrooms concept, immersing players into a labyrinth space that mimics real-world environments but is subtly or overtly off-kilter, so not quite right. These games often play with hyperreal themes by presenting environments that are both familiar and alien, creating a sense of disorientation and unease. Internet culture and memes, The fun stuff. The backrooms have become a meme within internet culture, often depicted in images and videos that emphasize their uncanny hyperreal quality. These representations play on the idea of spaces that are almost but not quite real, places that exist at the edge of our reality, blending the known and the unknown. Found footage and horror media. The backrooms have also inspired a subgenre of horror media, included found footage that depict explorers encountering these spaces. The hyperreal aspect comes into play as these videos are often presented as real or plausible, even though they depict impossible or surreal scenarios. The backrooms function as a potent symbol of the disorienting consequences of hyperreality in today's culture. By depicting a realm that is both recognizable and completely foreign, the backrooms evoke the concerns and worries linked to disconnecting from a reality in a time dominated by media and imitation. The never-ending labyrinth quality of the backrooms can be interpreted as a portrayal of the countless simulations and worlds we confront in the era of digital technology, where the distinction between genuine and simulated encounters grows more distinct. Some examples of some video games are Inside the Backrooms, The Backroom Found Footage, Escape the Backrooms, No Clipped, and The Backrooms Project, which can all be found on Steam. There's lots of examples of the backrooms being portrayed in media such as YouTube, and the most notable short horror film comes from a YouTube user known as Kane Pixels, aka Kane Parsons, who is now making a proper movie out of his YouTube videos. So feel free to look him up because they are quite scary, really good. I also want to put some TikToks in here from Josh VFX, and they do a series on the backrooms, and it's like kind of animated, I think, but it's really, really good, and I'll pop it in here.
See no, this, I gotta update her, show her where I am, you know. You back up. It's not budging. No? Really? Oh, whoa. Yo.
Why are only these lights on?
You guys wanna head back?
Yeah, honestly, that's a good idea. Wait, where did we come from? Wait, it was... Did you guys hear something? I swear I heard something.
I think we came from...
yeah, we ran...
From that way, right?
Yeah, we ran right through there.
Guys, imagine a raven here. What?
Oh, the light.
Finally! Where's the door? The door's not...
Where is the door?
The door's not there.
Is this where we came from?
It has to... Like, we literally came from this way. The door was right there. Maybe we took a wrong turn.
Well, yeah, we're definitely...
There's so many hallways here.
Oh, wait, guys, there's an exit sign right down here.
Wait, where's it lead to?
It's, whoa.
Alright, time to go.
Alright.
That's a lot of steps, man.
Let's go. What is that? Run down!
Did you get that?
I was recording.
What was that, bro? I think we gotta get out of here.
So yeah, those are quite scary. I was scared when I watched those too. And now that we've seen some TikToks, we all love watching TikToks, don't we? I'm sorry, I got really distracted. One, there is a car driving really, really fast down my street, and two, the neighbours across the road have two little kids, and they're at daycare, I assume, and there's no, like, their cars aren't parked out the front or near their garage where they usually are, and I legit just thought I saw someone walking in their driveway, but I think it was just, like, my eyes playing tricks on me. Anyway, back to the actual video. So I keep going on tangents. This is just how my brain works. I'm just, like, yelling at a camera. That's so weird. YouTube is weird. Alright, so let's talk about two other concepts for the sociology of the backrooms. I want to talk about a glitch in the matrix, and I want to talk about uncanny valley, or the uncanny valley theory. So a glitch in the matrix, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the TikToks, a lot of the YouTube videos, but this is taken from the movie The Matrix, and it can be used to describe something like a person experiencing deja vu, or an unlikely / irregular occurrence. So something we might perceive to be strange or odd or not quite right. So I think it ties in with the life as a simulation theory as well, or conspiracy theory rather, where, what's an example? There's this example of, I think it's a video where there's just like a bird in the sky, but it turns out it was just some balloons, but it was really scary or like odd, and people took videos of this, like, what the F is this? Maybe I can find that video and put it in. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Is to its pride, and traffic is slow moving elsewhere on the NPR2 from the National Zoo and London Indah towards Ampang, on the NKBE from Bukit Lanjan towards Charlotte, on Federal Highway from Ampang towards Valley, on Bas Raya from Kalat Jaya towards Kampung Malaysia, on Abdul Halim from the National.
So the uncanny valley, this is an effect, is a hypothesized psychological and aesthetic relation between an object's degree of resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to the other. So, for example, something that might be super close to humanness but isn't quite right, like a robot. I remember the movie Polar Express was very uncanny valley because the animation wasn't quite there just yet. Some of the uncanny valley TikToks, the makeup, yeah, it's very airy, but it's a very interesting theory. So, how is a glitch in the matrix and the backrooms related? I'm sure you've all been wondering this. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is reality malfunction. So both the backrooms and the glitch in the matrix involve the idea that reality can break down or malfunction. The backrooms are often described as a space you accidentally no-clip into, a sign that something has gone wrong with the fabric of reality. A glitch in the matrix suggests a temporary temp failure in the simulated reality, revealing its artificial nature. That reminds me of The Truman Show. That movie, I don't like that movie. It just makes me so uncomfortable. Anyway, the next is disorientation and alienation. In both concepts, there is a strong sense of disorientation and alienation, so glitch in the matrix and the backrooms. People who experience a glitch in the matrix often feel a sense of unease, as if they've momentarily glimpsed a truth that they aren't supposed to see. Ooh. This mirrors the experience of finding oneself in the backrooms, a place that looks somewhat familiar but is deeply unsettling and wrong. So the next is I can't talk today. You guys are just going to have to deal with it. Existential horror, the fear of discovering that reality is not what it seems, is a core element of both the backrooms and the glitch in the matrix. The backrooms represent a hidden infinite space that exists outside normal perception, while a glitch in the matrix hints at the possibility that everything we know is an illusion. Both concepts tap into existential horror, where the familiar world is revealed to be fragile and deceptive. Digital and simulated worlds. The Matrix explicitly deals with the idea of a simulated reality, and the backrooms can be interpreted as a similar concept, a space that exists as a kind of bug or unintended consequence within a simulated or digital world. In video games and online media, the backrooms are often depicted as glitchy, fragmented spaces, which aligns with the idea of a reality that is imperfectly constructed or maintained. online culture and storytelling. Both concepts have been popularized and expanded through online communities and storytelling. People often share their glitch in the matrix experiences on forums and social media, much like how the Backrooms started as a creepypasta and evolved through community contributions. The collaborative nature of these stories reinforces the idea that reality is malleable and subject to interpretation, so multiple realities. And what about Uncanny Valley? Let's get to that. I would argue that it is possible to connect these two things, as both concepts deal with the discomfort and unease that arise when something familiar is slightly off or not quite right. So the first thing is familiar yet distorted. The Uncanny Valley is all about the tension between familiarity and distortion. The Backrooms are spaces that feel familiar on the surface, rooms that resemble offices, basements, or other mundane environments that we are in on a daily basis. But these environments are slightly off in a way that makes them deeply unsettling. This distortion is what makes the Backrooms so unnerving, much like how a nearly human-like robot or digital figure can be disturbing when it doesn't fully meet our expectations of human behavior or appearance. Eerie ambiguity. Eerie ambiguity. Oh. In both the Uncanny Valley and the Backrooms, the discomfort comes from ambiguity. The Backrooms present a world that is almost recognizable but contains elements that are subtly wrong: endless corridors, inconsistent architecture, and an oppressive atmosphere. This eeriness is similar to what people feel when encountering something in the Uncanny Valley. The ambiguous nature of the experience triggers a sense of unease because it hovers between known and unknown, real and artificial. I was doing so well there. I said I'm ambiguous, right? I think when I start to think about what I'm saying, I say it wrong. Anyone else like that? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Existential unease. The Uncanny Valley taps into deep-seated fears about identity, reality, and the nature of being human. The Backrooms evoke a similar existential unease as they represent a place that is outside of our normal understanding of reality, a place where the rules we rely on no longer apply. This parallels the discomfort we feel when something challenges our assumptions about what is real or normal. And mundane horror, so there's that theme of horror again. Both the Uncanny Valley and the Backrooms derive much of their horror from the mundane. In the Uncanny Valley, it's the subtle, almost imperceptible differences that cause unease, something that looks human but has lifeless eyes, unnatural movements, or an uncanny expression. In the Backrooms, the horror comes from the banality of the environment: dull, endless rooms that should be safe and familiar, but instead these rooms are traps. The combination of the ordinary with the unsettling makes both concepts powerful sources of psychological horror and then psychological impact. The Uncanny Valley and the Backrooms both have a significant psychological impact. Encountering something in the Uncanny Valley can make us question our perceptions and instincts, just as the Backrooms can make us question the stability of the world around us. The world is literally a shit show right now. Anyway, both play on our fear of the unknown and the discomfort that arises when our expectations are subverted. That concludes my sociology of the Backrooms, and I hope you enjoyed exploring this kind of creepy topic with me, and let me know if you want me to do more creepy topics or what topics you'd like me to do in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ash. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!